The United States has long prided itself on being a nation of immigrants, a melting pot of cultures, ideas, and dreams. From the early settlers who arrived on the Mayflower to the millions who passed through Ellis Island, immigration has been a cornerstone of American identity. Yet, under the administration of Donald Trump, this foundational principle was undermined by a series of draconian immigration policies that not only betrayed our nation's values but also exposed a glaring hypocrisy rooted in our history. To understand the hypocrisy of Trump's immigration policies, we must first examine the history of immigration in the United States. The early growth of this nation was fueled by the labor of enslaved Africans and the displacement of indigenous peoples. However, it was also shaped by the arrival of millions of Europeans who came seeking refuge, opportunity, and a better life. For example, during the Irish potato famine of the 1840s, over 1 million Irish immigrants arrived in the United States, many of whom were destitute and unwelcome. Similarly, in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, millions of Italians and Eastern Europeans came to America, often facing discrimination and prejudice. These groups were initially viewed as undesirable and unassimilable, yet over time, they became integral parts of American society. Their descendants now occupy positions of power and influence, often forgetting the struggles their ancestors faced. Fast forward to the Trump era, and we see a stark contrast. The same nation that once opened its doors to Europeans now slams them shut for others, particularly those from Latin America, the Middle East, and Africa. Trump's policies, ranging from the Muslim ban to the separation of families at the border, from the expansion of detention centers to the slashing of refugee admissions, reveal a troubling double standard. Why is it that the descendants of European immigrants, many of whom arrived under dubious or illegal circumstances, now support policies that deny others the same opportunities their ancestors were given? This hypocrisy is not just a matter of historical irony, it is a moral failing. It ignores the fact that immigration has always been a cornerstone of American progress. Immigrants have fueled our economy, enriched our culture, and strengthened our communities. Yet, under Trump, we saw a systematic effort to demonize and dehumanize those seeking a better life. The rhetoric of invasion and criminals was not just inflammatory, it was a deliberate attempt to stoke fear and division, undermining the very ideals of compassion and fairness that this nation claims to uphold. The damage of the Trump administration extends far beyond immigration. His policies weakened the fabric of our country in profound ways, particularly through the gutting of federal programs that once provided a safety net for the most vulnerable. Medicaid, food assistance, housing support, and education funding were all targeted for cuts, leaving millions of Americans to fend for themselves. These cuts were not just fiscal decisions, they were moral choices that prioritized tax breaks for the wealthy over the well-being of the poor.